everybody.
Hi.
We are now Fralins and Friends doing chat.
Yeah.
So, decided for today, I haven't talked about my COPD and how it gets affected by different things for quite a while, and sometimes those are the things that people really want to hear about, because when that topic comes up, even in my older videos, it comes up quite frequently that people are watching it or asking questions. So, it's a little humid out today, but I'm sitting and I'm going to be a little slower. Being goofy.
I'm looking at the tree.
The tree doesn't need your attention right now. Oh, that gave me a headache. Not because of him, just because of. Anyway, you're going to behave yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, it would be nice to talk about something funnier, but besides the clown over here, COPD is not funny, but you can have fun around it. It's going to affect you if you have it. There are other causes besides smoking for COPD, although mine is caused more than likely from smoking. The lady I grew up, she was one of my Sunday school teachers. They lived on a dairy farm for years, and she had a lot of allergies, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but the whole family helped with the farming. So, I don't know if the dust from the dairy barn, or I don't know what caused hers, but it could be about anything. I know of a lady that did ceramics all her life and thought but neither one of them ever smoked. However, I will not say that smoking does not lead to COPD for a lot of people. It did for me, and it does for a lot of people. Humidity. Humidity is a big problem with someone with any kind of lung disorder or breathing disorder. The air is heavier with all that moisture content. It's just heavier and harder to breathe. And it does permeate into the house, not as heavily as outside, but it'll get through the windows and doors. The windows and doors, probably not as...
They're old.
They're old, that's good.
They're not efficient.
Well, depends on who you talk to, but yeah. If you talk to somebody who wants to put up those triple panes. Anywho, it's caused a lot of issues with family get-togethers. If somebody is sick, especially with something respiratory, they don't come around or they don't get close to me. And during the years that we were under that epidemic with the COVID-19 pandemic,
Yeah.
I hardly went anywhere. I just had to protect my lungs. I stayed home. And Joe's had to pick up a lot of stuff.
During the COVID, that was spooky for me, because working at the prison, people would come out there and say, yeah, I don't know if I was exposed to somebody or not. It's like, get away from me, you know. Because
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it home. 'Cause I had nowhere else. I couldn't bring it home if I was exposed. I had to go to a motel or something.
Yeah.
I couldn't come home.
That was a rough time. But he'd change his clothes as soon as he came home. He would change his clothes,
Take a shower.
take a shower, everything he could to keep from exposing me to anything he may have been exposed to.
If we wore a mask or had to wear a mask for all day long.
You know,
That got old in a hurry, but
At the prison,
yeah.
yeah.
What's scary is, right before I retired, 2 of my coworkers were home with COVID. It's like, jeepers creepers. Neither one of them had shots, so I don't know if that was a problem or not, but no, it was scary. I don't know how long that lasted, but it was long enough.
It was 2 or 3 years. At least 2 years. Well, and it still pops its ugly head up once in a while.
Yeah.
Within the last year, I think there's been 1 or 2 from the church. I think the pastor and his family, some of them had it. I don't know. I don't remember for sure. But they don't. If he's sick, he don't come down for a visit. And so yeah, it does make some issues with family get-togethers. So, but we're trying to get, since the family's growing, we just try to get bigger areas so that, because the family's growing. But yeah, that, and I've had pneumonia twice. The first time almost killed me. I really don't want to do it again. So, but what helped is when there was a medication that came out quite a few years ago. At the time, what was it called then? Dollarest. And now the generic has finally come out. It's called Roflumilast. Something like that.
Roflumilast. R-O.
It decreases the amount of mucus that I develop, which mucus, like blood, is a perfect place for bacteria to propagate, populate, to grow. So it kind of takes away that, some of that, it takes away that nice little happy medium for bacteria. So I have not had a case of bronchitis or pneumonia since I've been on that. And now I do get some mucus. It wouldn't be a good idea to take away all of it, but because it helps, keep things lubricated, I guess you could say. Yeah, but humidity, other people's illnesses, my own illnesses, if I get a bad cold or
Really hot weather.
really hot weather,
Really cold weather.
really cold weather, high humidity, doctor's appointments that I end up canceling because the thing is saying it's going to be cold and that it is very humid. 96% humidity the other day was not an ideal time for me to go to a doctor's appointment, because just getting to the car in that kind of humidity, I'd rather it be pouring rain than just be high humidity. Because with pouring rain, it's all going down to the ground. That's where all the humidity's going. Yeah, it's wet air, but it's not like, I don't know why that is, but it just seems like I don't like to go out in pouring rain. Over time, you get more and more isolated. I seldom go to the grocery store anymore. Last time I went to the grocery store downtown here was, I don't know, maybe a year or 2 ago, just to go in and say I was there.
You took your scooter down, that's what it was.
Yeah, I took my scooter down. But the one time I actually did go in this grocery store, and I actually did buy, I don't know, it was either a bag of chips or a candy bar, one of
Maybe
the
the
other.
candy bar.
You remember all this stuff better than I do. Why don't you tell us?
I don't remember.
I do like to go for car rides. I have been in Walmart a couple of times. I did not go during the pandemic. I didn't used to ride their little cart, but now I do. Used to be if I was able to push a cart, then that was pretty good, but now I pretty much drive those little carts and scooters around. I don't want to feel guilty because others people have not hardship, but they've had to take on more because of me, but it's hard, you know. I tend to be a guilt-ridden person anyway, but I've kind of gotten to the point, I've had it so long now, that I've kind of got to the point where I just kind of accept it, and I've adjusted my life to it. And one thing that irritates me is when people say, Glenda, you don't have a life anymore. It's like, what are you talking about? I don't have your life anymore, but I definitely have a life. I paint, I crochet, I do all kinds of stuff that a lot of people would say for winter. But I get outside when it's nice weather. I was outside that one day when we were looking at your tulips. I just go online and see what.
Well, I went to bed about between 11 and 11:30. And that's when it started.
Yeah, he come out and he brought out my
A little portable concentrator.
yeah, my portable concentrator and a flashlight so that I could find it or anything else I needed if the electricity went out.
Loud thunder boomers.
That one, we had one, I was about ready to have Joe go outside and see what it hit. But, no, I didn't do that.
I was in bed, I ain't getting out of bed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you to get dressed to go out. But it shook the house. I mean, I've heard some thunder and stuff but man, there was a couple of those that night.
It made you jump when you heard it.
That's for sure.
I jumped, I know that.
And that would not have been a good time for somebody with COPD to be outside.
No.
I don't think it would have been a good place for anybody to be.
But it rained, we got 2 inches of rain. That's what my gauge had anyway.
And that's what we needed.
Yeah, it's still muddy out right now.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all
that's good. It stayed cool enough that it didn't evaporate it right back up.
Yeah, stay cloudy.
So it got to soak into the soil. This is a place for positivity, and today's actually is not so positive because it's mostly about my COPD and how it affects us. But it does affect us, and it affects the people around us, because we don't go visiting much. I mean, we haven't. Joe goes visiting. He goes to see his brothers and stuff. There was one year I did go to when his sister-in-law, or sister-in-law was still alive, she used to do Christmas stuff for the boys. And well, all of us when we get.
We get together for
Yeah.
a Christmas meal.
Yeah. And I hadn't been going very often because of, that year the weather wasn't bad and I decided to go. I'm glad I did because she passed away within the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Sudden heart attack. We always thought of her as the healthy one in the family.
Yeah.
But she had a sudden heart attack, and I guess there's not much you can do when that happens. Anyway, so on the positive note, I'm happy. I hope Joe's happy.
Can't complain.
Joe's the kind that just goes along with life.
Doesn't do any good to complain, so what the heck.
Anyway, he does tell me everybody he sees that we know up there at Walmart when he goes up there.
Yeah.
He comes home and he says, "Oh, I saw Chris today. She's dyeing her hair brown now." Really, I wouldn't have recognized her because she was always this blonde. But anyway,
I went to a funeral yesterday.
yeah, that was not fun, I'm sure.
My niece's husband fell down a flight of stairs going down his basement and broke his neck.
Yeah.
It was a freak accident.
I just kind of wanted to review things with COPD and how it's affecting me. I mean, I'm better off today than I was back in 2012 and 2015 when I had pneumonia. But with that new medication, it's helped a lot.